about a year ago, I was at an event speaking, and a gentleman that I didn't know, came up and purchased our Winning the Game of Money program, and I later found out that he really applied not just what we taught him in retraining his brain, but really started to upgrade his knowledge and his skills, and really took advantage of being in the community of getting the help and offering the help. And so when I was looking for people who I could help, really iterate their success story to you to show you what's possible for you, Scott basically said, hey, I'd love to share my story. And so with that said, let me welcome Scott Cartwright. Scott, welcome. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, thanks, great.
Come on, have a seat. And so, Scott, let me start with you and say hi to everybody all over the world. Scott, maybe we can start with you and share with you, where were you, a year and a half ago in your business and your financial life and your own emotional state with your life?
So I was working. I had a job, one of those bad things, a job. I was making about $75,000 a year.
Doing what?
I was a healthcare administrator. So I worked
at a hospital?
In a hospital, exactly.
And how long were you doing that for?
So 6 years.
6 years? What did you do before that?
Before that, I was in the Navy, actually.
Okay, so you went from the Navy, way to serve our country.
Well, thank you.
All right, and then you went to a hospital administration job. And what was happening? What was going on in your life? I know that your wife, I think, was going to medical school.
She was in medical school, and we have a 5-year-old at the time, and so I just didn't want to be working for somebody else. You know how you feel like you want to do so much more, but you can't do that working for somebody else. So I had previously tried other programs and things in the past that they just hadn't worked. They hadn't helped me be who I wanted to be. Plus, when you're working, you have that security. You have a paycheck coming in, and it's hard to leave that when you don't know what's out there other than that paycheck, especially when you live, you're living life, and life costs money, and you don't want to let go of that security.
And so security was big for you. You mentioned something to me when we talked maybe a couple weeks ago, and you said you really wanted to hold on to all the money that you had. You were afraid of really investing in yourself, and you were afraid of really, putting some of your own income on the line. Why is that?
Well, I'm a saver, a big-time saver. I was a big-time saver, and I think it's security that you have. You have money. You don't want to spend money because you think you're going to always need it. So everything just turns into your emergency fund. Oh, I don't want to spend this $2 extra because I can save that $2 extra. And then you just wind up not being able to enjoy. You can't enjoy life that way because things cost money, and you need to reward yourself for things and all these things, and then plus you're just miserable. You're just on edge all the time because the car.
Is that how you were?
Yeah. The car's gonna break, or your wife will say she needs a new dress, and you're like, oh, that's gonna cost money, and it's really.
And how did you feel inside being that person?
Well, you feel cheap.
Now, how did you feel?
No. Well,
did you feel cheap?
Well, I felt cheap, but I didn't like it. I thought that there was a better way, but I didn't know how to make money other than saving money.
Right.
And I don't know if that's a real way to make money, by just trying to hold on to everything and expect you to get richer by holding on to.
And so you had, I know, some goals and some dreams to leave your job, but you also had the security of staying in your job. So what was this, 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake feeling like?
So you feel like you can't get started. For one, you're working for somebody else for 8-9 hours a day, and then you're trying to do what you need to do after that, and you still have life in there as well. So in the evenings you're trying to do these things. So I really needed to break free from work and from a job and from a boss in order to achieve all the things that I wanted to.
And so you came to one of the programs that I was teaching at, and you heard me for about an hour, and then you made a decision to invest in the Winning the Game of Money program. And why did you invest in it then? Like, why another program when you tried so many others before?
Well, it seemed like a way to really change my brain, basically, because a lot of things that you said I really resonated with. One of them being that your brain talks to you and it tries to keep you safe. That's its job, to keep you safe. And so it's just doing its job there, doing what it knows how to do best. And you were talking about different things and different techniques, and then you mentioned the program, and I thought it was a great way to change, because obviously none of the things that I had done in the past had worked. And I thought this may be the problem. I am who I am. You don't know it's wrong or bad how you are, because that's the way you've always that's the way you've always been.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's wrong or right. It's just that's who you've become. And the question is, are you getting the results that you want? Were you having a disconnect between the goals and the dreams that you wanted and the results you were achieving?
Oh, definitely, because you can see that so much potential out there, but you can't. It's just right there beyond your grasp somehow, or you try to grasp at it and you would miss, but you know it's there.
And so what was holding you back was security. Your wife was not earning an income, going to medical school. You had a 5-year-old daughter, and so you need to make sure, you need to make sure that you had enough money to pay the bills. And so you started the Winning the Game of Money program. What happened?
So I just did it. I just consumed it. You're there and you are listening. And I didn't, and it's something you probably explain it better than I do. It's nothing that you wake up and all of a sudden you're a new person. It's a slow transition that you don't even feel. I mean, I didn't necessarily wake up a day, okay, that's one more day, like you're training for a marathon or anything like that. You're not getting any farther. But then you realize certain things, you're more aware of certain things, and then that allows you to make some better decisions moving forward.
Did it have any effect on your confidence and your certainty in yourself and your abilities?
Oh, it definitely did, because I wound up participating in a program, some personal coaching and business coaching that I would have never done. It was expensive.
But that was with somebody else.
That was with somebody else. That was somebody else. I mean, it just allowed me to do that. In the past, I would have never, put down a considerable amount of money for somebody else to coach me, because what are they going to tell me, for that kind of money? But I put down the money. I did it. I didn't hesitate. I hesitated a second, but then I realized, oh, this is what John's talking about. It's your brain. So don't listen to it, because it's just trying to keep you safe. And so I wound up investing in the program, and because of investing in the program, I was able to quit because of your program. It wasn't because of that program, because that program took a little bit time, but I wound up quitting my job, so I'm my own boss now and earning good money, replaced that salary. And
so you replaced your salary. You also told me that you've got some residual income now coming in.
Yeah, no, that's the best thing, to be out and about and still have recurring income coming in. So it's about $9,000 a month.
A month in recurring revenue.
Recurring revenue.
And how long of a period of time is this?
This is, so I started your program, we're talking about a year now. Like today is actually, November would have been a year that I had stopped working. And so we're a year into it now.
So from the time he stopped working, he replaced his income, and now he's got a $9,000 a month recurring revenue. What do you see that's happened? And by the way, I've got some pictures here. What are these pictures over here? Who are we looking at over here?
That's my lovely wife and my son, and we're actually zip-lining in Costa Rica in that picture. We took a vacation earlier this year to Costa Rica. It's one of the best places. I don't know if you've been, but
I've not been to Costa Rica. So why is this special? Like, had you been on a vacation every year up until then?
We had. Well, what's special about this vacation is it is, for one, nearly 2 weeks, and when you're working for somebody else and you tell them you want to take 2 weeks off, you don't even ask, because they're going to look at you like you've lost your mind, basically. So we're there for 2 wonderful weeks, and then there's still revenue coming in, when you're on vacation.
So that was that. And what are we looking at over here?
So that is in Costa Rica also. We stayed for 3 or 4 days in this place where you could only get there by boat. So it's an hour-and-a-half boat ride to get there to where we stayed. There's alligators in the water.
Oh, great.
All kinds of iguanas and things. It was perfect. It was really great.
This, I think, is a picture of what?
That is my old car.
Your old car?
My old car. Me and that car, we went back.
How long did you have that car for?
That car is a 1990 Jeep Cherokee.
Not too bad. And so what did you do once you started, getting more freedom and making more money?
Well, then, so it allowed me to realize that you spend money. So that's my new Lexus there. You spend money and you don't care, and you're not stressed out about it, and your wife is looking at you like, who's this guy, who's spending money, and She actually told my son, you know, that we need to do what we can now before this guy that looks like your dad comes back, before your dad comes back. You know?
So how have you changed? Like, what's different about you today? And how long did it take before you started to really experience some change? What happened to you emotionally? I see what happened, you know, financially, where you bought some nice things, and that's all great. But what I want to know is what happened to you as a person by retraining your brain and just following what we've been talking about for the last several hours?
So it has allowed me, I really have a lot more confidence now in doing things and in spending money and knowing that that what I'm choosing to do is really the right thing. So it gives you a lot of confidence, and it gives you awareness as well, because if you don't know, you can't fix or you can't do or you can't change. But as soon as you know it, then you can actually do something about it. So I don't have any more struggles or internal conflicts about spending money, and you spend it on good things, you know, things that you want, but things in your business also, and then it comes back to you many times over.
And what do you see happening in your future? Now that you've shattered some of your own financial glass ceiling and increased your own confidence and certainty and altered your beliefs about what's possible, have you changed your beliefs about what's possible for you and your family now?
I definitely have. And so I will make $500,000, $500,000 this year. And
this year meaning?
In 2013. This year coming up.
So your future.
My future, right. And as I mentioned, it's just the confidence to know that I can do it. I'm not sitting there saying, oh, I think I can or I hope I can. No, I will do it.
And you know what's interesting here is, as I'm looking at Scott over here right now, his dad is sitting here in the audience. He's a retired neurosurgeon who's here watching his son. I asked him before, are you proud of your son? He says, oh my, am I ever proud of my son? Because everything you guys are talking about, he says, I've studied and I love all this stuff. So glad you're here in the studio with us. So how will this affect your wife and your daughter?
So one thing that's important to me as a husband is to be able to support my wife and my family and families do what we want to do. So whether she decides to work or not, it's important for me to be able to make sure that she can do that. So I'll be able to support her, and then my son will just be able to do things that he wouldn't have been able to do. I mean, he's 5 years old. And
keep saying daughter, it's his son.
It's my son. It's my son.
I want him to have a daughter.
My son wouldn't want that. He definitely wouldn't want that. But he's doing stuff. You know, he's in Costa Rica and he's zip lining. It's just great experiences that he wouldn't be able to do otherwise. And I'm happy that he can do them. So
the feeling that you've got of having the beginnings of some financial freedom and seeing that extrapolate over the next year, 5 years, 10 years, what does that do for you as a person?
So it lets me know that anything is possible. I mean, once you have the confidence and the awareness that you can achieve whatever you set your mind to, really. And I was able to do that just through some simple training and simple retraining.
Awesome. So the person who's out there right now, sitting there, that's been watching the show, whether it's for half hour, an hour, or the last 3 hours, what do you say to that person over there who's where you were at a year ago? Talk to them. Tell them.
Okay. I say if you are hesitating or wondering, it's something that you definitely should do. It worked for me, and I'm no superhero, nothing special. I mean, I was working. I was actually in school at the time when I was working. I forgot to tell you that I was in school, and I have a 5-year-old, and I have my wife and life and job and all that other stuff, and I still found the time to do it, and it has changed my life. It's the start of something a year ago, the start of something great that's just getting better and better. So there's no reason not to do it, but you have to do the program, and then you have to work. I mean, you can't just do the program and then just sit there and keep on doing what you've been doing. There's work that's involved. Whatever you're going towards, you have to do that. But the program is definitely the jumping off point.
Would you say it was worth your investment of time and money?
Well, many times over.
Many
times over, yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, friends, I mean, I can bring one after the other here of individuals who've made a commitment to themselves. And I think that's really the key is you're not investing in a program as much as you're investing in yourself to learn how to retrain your brain and to shatter the things that are holding you back.
Right,
Yeah.
Exactly. Retraining and moving forward.
Well, I'm so proud of you, and I know that we're going to see some amazing things from you in the next couple of years.
All right,
so
thanks.
Way to go. Everybody give a virtual shout out to Scott. So thank you so very much.